Welcome at the first knowledge clip about searching literature. This first knowledge clip will be about search terms. These are the steps we need to take when we are performing a literature study, starting from a proper research question, and in the end we get an answer to our research question. And we do that in a literature study by searching for literature. And for this literature search, you'll need search terms. Not only for a systematic review or literature study you need search terms, also when you perform a literature search for a different study where you need to write your introduction for your study. Why do we need search terms? Before you're able to find literature, you need to define based on what words you need to search or the computer needs to search for you. So search terms are words that you will enter into a search engine to find the scientific literature. So you'll perform a targeted search for articles, and you'll do this online, and the main search engine that we use in this field is PubMed. So how do we define these search terms? Let's look at this research question. Which diets can cause a decrease in weight in adolescents with morbid obesity? As we covered in the knowledge clip about the research question, this research question consists of different elements. Each element needs to translate into a search term. So we're looking at people with morbid obesity. Morbid obesity is an important part in this research question. So that's the first search term that we define. The outcome measure in this research question is weight. But weight can be measured in different ways. So we can use weight as a search term, but perhaps we're also interested in studies that measure weight in terms of BMI, body mass index. So the two search terms, morbid obesity and weight, are combined with the word "and". For weight, we use the synonym BMI. So between weight and BMI, the word "or" is used. The other important parts in the research question are diet, the intervention that we're looking at, and the patient population, or the subjects, the adolescents. So diet and adolescents are the remaining search terms. So you see that we use "and" to combine the different search terms, and we use "or" when we're talking about synonyms, or different possible words that can be used for this specific word. This is what this will look like in PubMed. Up here, you see the different search terms entered in the search field of PubMed. In this case, these are search terms from a different research question. Obviously, you're using English search terms, but also Dutch students will need to use English search terms. And you also see that both "and" "or" are used in here. In this case, there are over 400 results. And you see here two examples, the first two results of this search string. How do you define your search terms? They need to be specific enough to find the results that you need, but it also should be broad in such a way that you will cover all the results that you're looking for. So look at these examples. Let's say we're interested in the outcome measure mental health, but that's very broad. So what do we mean in this specific case by mental health? We could mean depressive disorders. So then you would need to define your search term as depressive disorder and not as mental health, because you will get otherwise too many results. The same holds for the other examples. So if you're looking at physical exercise, this is also very broad. What do you mean by physical exercise? Perhaps, as is presented here, you mean high-intensity internal training. And two more examples that you can look at. So what should you remember from this knowledge clip? For one thing, you'll use English search terms because it's an English search engine that you usually use, and many of the articles are available in English. You use the words "and" "or" to combine your search terms. That, in this sense, you'll get a search string. And you'll balance broad versus specific search terms. They need to be specific enough to get the results that you are actually interested in. Thank you for listening.